Hey guys, welcome to the Pera Community Monthly for March of 2026. I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to join in. I'm also going to propagate it a little bit on the socials as well. I'll put on some music for some viewing pleasure as I get everything ready on my end. I just got to post on Discord, let everybody know. And meanwhile, I'm going to get the slideshow presented. So we have a pretty good month. If you guys have already started it out, head to the secret development menu and get multi-sig going. I think it's any feedback is going. We should be live to launch though, probably this month, maybe the next release cycle, which is Tuesday. I have all the marketing materials all prepped and ready to go. I'm just setting, where's this tweet? Okay. One more minute, I'll have everything ready to go. So we got one person in here. Just post in Pera Discord. All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Feel free to use the chat here anytime you want. Let me just turn up this music real quick. So this is Pera Community Monthly for March of 2026. Dive right in. We got the usual, the highlights, the what's next, and the open floor. Highlights, what we shipped this month. So we had, it doesn't seem like a lot on the surface, a lot of bug fixes, join it, but in addition to iOS, you have that new Wild Connect screen that we gave you. But a lot of this stuff is being built behind the join account feature flag. So we made a lot of improvements behind the scenes. Basically, everything's ready to go. So if you have iOS or Android, go to settings, scroll to the bottom. There's the account number, your version number on the bottom. Tap that 10 times. You'll see as you get to 8, it'll start alerting you that it's available. And then once you hit the 10, when you go to developer settings, there's a enable feature flags, and you'll see the multi-sig there. Once you do that, multi-sig will be available it's already been installed on your device. From there, you can create, you can send, you can sign. If you're on Android, we actually have this thing for async signing. So essentially, there's two ways for multi-sig to sign. There's the first way, which is everything's involved in Pera. So you're sending somebody an address, you're doing a swap in app, something like that. That stuff doesn't require Wild Connect. You could turn off the phone as long as you don't close out of the app or anything like that. It's fine. But with Wild Connect, you actually have to maintain that WebSocket the entire time. So if you have Android, they actually allow the phone itself. So this is something that iPhone doesn't allow, but they actually allow you to run the WebSocket as if you ever were on a website and you see the music thing pop up, basically it can run locally there. So for Android users, signing multi-sig into a DApp is a way better experience than using an iPhone. But so that's available too if you're an iPhone user. An Android user. In addition to that, we know United States users, tax season is in a couple of days actually, it's deadline. But we had USD values to CSV export. So if you go into Pera Explorer, go to your account, click transactions, there'll be a download CSV button. If you download that, it'll have all your USD values based on the time the transaction took place for easy accounting. We really, tried to do you guys a solid on that one. And lastly, it's weird. Usually people saying, hey, we're adding a fee-to-our service is bad news. But I think a lot of people in the Algorand ecosystem realize that, not having any swap fees was kind of it wasn't good for the health and survivability of other dApps and everything on the ecosystem. So we re-added at 1% currently, this might adjust in the future, but as of right now, this allows us to not undercut any ecosystem projects, allows us to have a healthy sustainability path. And, with these fees, we could there's so much more that we can do with the funds now instead. So anything's better than zero. So very happy that this was added in. In case you caught the news recently, that this will be in the next month's one, but we also added the ability for US users to be able to buy Algorand directly in the app through our third-party provider Meld. This was something that was previously unavailable due to the regulatory uncertainty. Now we have regulatory certainty, so we're able to add these features back. So a lot of wins for, in general. So what's next? We got the virtual IBANs coming next. So this allows you to open a USD or European bank account from almost anywhere in the world. You get a routable account number for fiat deposits and receive USD in your Pera wallet. So essentially, it's kind of like, think of it like kind of like a custodial, just the funds go into the bank account, then they get sent to your Pera wallet. If you ever use the exchange swap, you know how you send it to a deposit wallet and then the funds come out the other side. It's very, very similar, and it works for outflows too. So you send it to the bank account, send it to that bank account, and then it will, exit out. So if you wanted to, you can, use it to, route stuff if you wanted to pay people via USDC, but they don't want to get USDC, they want to get a bank account. You could do this now too. So it's a really, really cool feature. And the fees are super low too. I think it's like 15 basis points on transfers. So you'll be completely like mitigating all those fees that you typically see with like centralized exchanges and stuff. And then, so you can send funds directly to any financial institution from your Pera wallet via ACH, SEPA, Wire, or RTP. So this is a little preview of it. So this is actually what Pera 7 is going to look like. So if you're unfamiliar, we are redoing the entire app in React Native. This will allow us to not have to worry about maintaining an iOS code base, not having to worry about maintaining an Android code base, not having to maintain a web code base. If we ever built a browser extension, that'd be another code base. By doing everything in React Native, one code base. It's just a much cleaner way for us to scale in the future. And even to like, for example, multi-sig, this account feature, we have to essentially build everything twice. By having a one single unified code base, we can build everything once. So that means instead of having two engineers work on the same thing, we could have two engineers work on two different things. So for overall, this is like the way that we're looking at reshaping the company. But with that, there's a few feature differences. So this one has a portfolio slider instead of the main view being the portfolio. So what this does is actually allows for a lot better account management. Now we can have faster load times. So like one of the main things that people are requesting over time too was the ability to do a refresh. Hey, the updates are slow. But when we had the portfolio view, especially for people who had like, most people only have one account, but a lot of people have like 10 accounts, 15 accounts, or people who have like 45 to 50 accounts. So in the portfolio view, we have to load in every single wallet, every single asset in that wallet, every single balance, every single NFT. Very, very cumbersome process. By having it as a single account view, it allows us to have a lot faster fetching because we don't have to update everything at once. That's only if people go into the portfolio slider. So this will allow for things like faster balance uploads, things like that, and just an overall snappier experience across the app because we don't have to load as much data in upon load. But so this is what the virtual IBANs look like. So you'll see we kind of have a placeholder there. When you activate it, you go through the whole KYC process. If anybody, if you're signed up for the cards, it's very similar to that. And then once you're there, it gives you a bank account number. You could choose if you want a USD account or a European account. And deposit, transfer, everything's going to feel very seamless and native to you. So it's going to be a very, very good, cool feature. And then some of our upcoming priorities, we have the multi-signature joint account. This is in the public beta. If you explained at the beginning of the call, but if you need to know how to get in there, I can always explain it again. Transaction display, we're looking to, if you ever use Pera Explorer, you know that we have the balance impacts at the bottom of it, especially for group transactions. And what this does is it basically takes a bunch of transactions, sums it all up and says like, hey, you spent 50 algo, but you received 100 algo, you have a net difference of 50 algo. And for end users, that's like all we really care about. We just want to see like, when you go to a restaurant or something, you make sure the items are correct. And then, you look at the bottom, you see the total and you pay it. Like, we just want to make it super easy for you to understand, hey, this is what you're sending, this is what you're getting, and this is your total impact. Boom, done. We think it will do a huge service to anybody that's new to crypto, even to existing crypto people. If you've ever used Allbridge to bridge, or if you use the AS Analytic NFT smart contracts and you had a sale, you'll see that in your transactions, it'll be like 5 inner transactions or something of that sort. It doesn't give you a notification. This would solve a lot of that issues too. It just makes the whole process a lot easier for everybody. Yeah, but so we're working on that React Native app. I just explained that pretty in depth. Still in progress. Probably maybe like next month or the month after, we'll be probably looking for some open beta testers. I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. In addition to that, for the React Native, we also gonna need a backup system. So we want, like, since this is a new code base, we're gonna need a way to migrate. So might as well just have a replacement for Algorand Secure Backup that we removed last year. This one I've seen it in action. It is legit awesome. It's way better. Things like live syncing is possible too. It's amazing. You could like rename an account on one device and then it'll be renamed on the other. It's really, really cool. The virtual IBANs account, that's what I was just talking about too. That's in progress. And then the token minting thing, it's in planning, but maybe we add it to Pera 7. Maybe it just kind of continues on the back burner. But nobody's really demanding it. I'm knocking down our doors. So we'll just continue to prioritize better features in the meanwhile. All righty. Open floor. Does anybody have any questions for me? I'm just going to take a sip of tea. How far is Pera from sustainability? I'd say still pretty like decently far. If you check the blockchain transactions, like we're making around like 3,000 a week from fees. That's the great thing about blockchain. I could say that it's not even proprietary information. So yeah, I mean, it's still decent, but we're more sustainable than with 0% fees. So that's the main thing. But I think a lot of it has to do with like the price of the coin right now. If that goes up, obviously we make more, but it's a start more than anything else. Anything else? Anything on the Noah stuff? Pera 7, React Native, Alrighty. Well, let me check Twitter real quick and make sure that nobody was commenting on there. Yeah, nothing. A few people are asking about Pera cards. We're hoping for the summer, like towards the end of the summer, to get that live. Currently working with a new provider. They have to get integrated and stuff, so it's not like totally on us. But once they have everything, we have the UI and everything from the previous card provider, so it shouldn't be too much to link that in. So we're it's top priority. But as you can see this year so far, in terms of the United States, we had the USD support to the Pera Fund feature. We also just added the ability for US users to buy Algorand, something that was not previously possible. We're working on integrating Coinbase into the Pera Fund feature, which we know for a bunch of US users, that's your main primary centralized exchange. So you can use that, which is great too. You don't have to create a new account. You don't have to go through KYC again. You just kind of use our API and it will help us out. We do get a little bit from that. But yeah, overall, we're looking at getting USDC added to more on-ramp providers. We know that the spread that we provided was not great. Obviously, it's out of our hands, but we're looking at adding USDC to more areas. We just want to try to decrease the amount of friction that it takes to moving your funds into and out of Algorand. We had a great success with the ExoSwap last month too. It was a real nice, if you build it, they will come type of moment for Pera. And we're really happy with, creating all these accessibility features. And that's really going to be our main focus for the rest of the year. It's just improving the ability for people to get into the app, stay in the app, and, keep and manage their funds in the app. So excited about it. Really looking forward to everything that we've been doing. And, stay on the lookout. Like I said, we have multi-sig coming out this month. Very happy about that. It was a long time coming. I know a lot of you have asked for that feature for a very, very long time, and we are very, very happy with this implementation. It is a very good user experience. And if you ever tried using multi-sig outside of Pera Wallet, you'll never want to do it again. So really happy about it. But yeah, that's it. Follow me. Any comments after this, just post to the Twitter account, or you can post to my personal, whatever. But yeah, stay good, everybody. Peace.